Good evening, Lisa.
Good evening, Andrew.
Doctor Who and the what?
Battle of Ranskoor and Kolos.
Kolos.
It's the same. I was listening how to say it and I've still forgotten how to say it.
Yeah, right, okay. It's people were going, it's an anagram of something,
Yeah,
weren't they?
it's not. It's just.
It's got the word Scaro in it.
Is it? No.
Well, yes, it has.
It has.
Yeah.
That's just a fool you think now,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
But
Yes.
nothing to do with that, I think.
Oh God.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
Right.
Yes.
What
Bless
have
you.
Thank you. What have you got to say about this one then?
It's an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a bit more of a low key finale, though. Is it really the finale?
Well, people have said this didn't feel like a series finale.
No. But is that because the New Year's Day episode is the series finale?
Well, this whole idea of a series finale
It's a relatively new thing.
is a Russell T Davies invention,
It
really,
is,
isn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah, but it's something that every other, Stephen Moffat kept up
Yeah,
with.
but yeah, if you go back through the history of Doctor Who,
Yes.
how many stories at the end of a season actually feel in any way like a season finale? Because we've been saying that this season has got a lot of sort of Hartnell elements to it.
Yeah.
And the season finale for Hartnell's first season is the Reign of Terror.
Yeah.
And the season finale for season 2 is the Time Meddler.
Which has got that nice shot at the end with their faces in the stars.
And then the War Machines.
Yeah.
So none of those feel like a spectacular...
No. But then you get things later on like the Master being captured at the end of the Demons.
I mean, yes, you do get some stories where they are slightly different because of their position in the season. You know, something like the Invasion of Time or something like that. But even by the time you get to things like Greatest Show in the Galaxy...
Yeah, no, yes, there isn't. It is more...
The season just stops with that story.
Yeah. It's. I understand why Russell did it. It's because it's when you look at the first new series of New Doctor Who, you've got your peaks and your troughs, because you've got your peak of it starting, then you've got the Daleks in the middle to get the audience again, then you've got the big spectacular finale with the Daleks again at the end of the season. So it's sort of going up and down like that.
But that's the thing. This is a whole new different regime and a different writing style.
Yes.
And maybe Chris has no interest in that. And
it's not necessarily a bad thing. This is something that people seem to be having trouble coming to terms with.
Yeah.
That this is a new version of Doctor Who. It's a more low-key version of Doctor Who. And that's what Doctor Who is now. If you don't like this version, then don't watch it.
There'll be another version of Doctor Who along at some point.
Which you'll probably like. I'll go back and watch, Stolen Earth or whatever. Stolen Earth.
But you do still get a load of you get loose ends tied up from the start of the season.
Because you've got Tim Shaw.
Yeah.
Because everybody was saying that no, apart from the aliens and the Witchfinders, whose name I've temporarily forgotten, the mud creatures, they get dealt with.
Yeah.
But apart from that, nothing really gets dealt with. It either gets away or whatever. But now Tim Shaw has been effectively punished, though it leaves it open to bring him back again at some point.
Well, you said about that shot of his hand at the end.
Yes.
Like that.
Yes, because the Radio Times does this thing every week about 9 things that they're not quite sure about in the episode. And one of those things was the hand against the glass. Does that mean he's going to escape? Well, yeah, it probably does.
Do you know
it also... Earlier in that sequence, when they go to rescue the hostages, one of the hostages does that. Just because they're trapped inside doesn't mean they're asleep or anything. They're trapped in perpetual awakeness, which is worse.
Do you know what it made me think of? What? End of Destiny of the Daleks.
Oh,
when Davros is in the stasis thing. I'm sure he puts his hand up.
He does put his hand up, he does.
Against the thing.
So it's just
It's just a directorial thing.
Yes.
And speaking of the Graham Williams era, we've got the planets.
Yes. Some people were quite cross that apparently Chris Chibnall has stolen from Douglas Adams, who stole from lots of other people. Douglas Adams would have approved because, steal from the best.
Yeah, it's the pirate planet with shrunken planets.
Yes.
Now I have a question for you.
Yes.
Some people have said that where was the reaction shots on the Earth?
On the Earth, yeah.
So would you have seen Yaz's family?
Then you have to get Yaz's family in just to do that shot.
Would it actually have disrupted the... There was a very definite feel of tension all the way through this episode, wasn't there? And it's all to do with the music score and the very low-key
bubbling
lighting.
Along the... Yeah.
I just wonder if suddenly cutting to...
would have dissipated that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's never actually stated what year
it is.
the beam hits the Earth.
No,
Because
it's
it
not
says...
necessary.
Because you assume that it says 3,407 years later or something, doesn't it? So do you assume that this is 3,407 years after the events in the Earth's timeline?
I would have thought so, yeah. So it's in the far distant future.
It's the year 5,400 and something.
Yeah. So.
There is a line about a space-time sort of rift or something, but it's never positively said whether it's present-day Earth or 55th century.
And to be honest, they probably couldn't afford to do it. So, and does it actually do anything at that point? Because all it's doing, effectively, is doing, I think it's like a field over the Earth, isn't it? Until it draws the planet into the stasis thing, does anything happen?
I don't know. I don't know what it'd be like.
No, it's just, is it not just like gravity?
Funnily, I've never experimented with that sort of stuff,
well,
so I can't tell you. But you were saying about the cast.
How
you got some heavyweight people
You've got
here.
some great actors, because you've got Mark Addy playing, what's his character called? I've forgotten what his character's called. He's the commander anyway. And he's playing it absolutely straight. Yeah. There's no over the top acting. He's giving it his best performance, because obviously he's quite well known. You didn't remember him from Game of Thrones.
I had to ask you what do I know him from?
Yeah. And you have seen some of Game of Thrones,
but I have no recollection of Game of Thrones.
He's sort of playing it with that same kind of accent, but without that part's quite a large part that he plays, because he's the sort of.
But before that, what would I have seen him in?
Oh gosh, he's been in loads of different things. The only other thing I can
and I have to emphasise stuff that I've seen, not stuff that other people have seen.
You probably wouldn't have seen anything.
Well,
he's in lots of things.
It's another thing for in this season of Doctor Who. There have been a lot of people like that that I've not really known their other work. It's just interesting.
And Phyllis Logan, of course, who is an extremely well-known actress, and she's in Lovejoy and she's in Downton Abbey, and this is quite a different part for her. And Purcell Ascot, of course, who's in Wizards vs Aliens.
All right, Wizzos, as I call
Benny, I think, isn't he in there?
I can't remember. I can't remember much about that, to be honest. Sorry.
It's not like it. It's got Brian Blessed in it as a thing.
As a shouty thing.
Yeah. That's unusual.
A thing with a big face, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. But yeah, so it's a really good cast, and they really are giving it. They're playing it straight.
Yeah.
You know, there's none of the. I mean, not there's been. All right, okay, I'll qualify that. Apart from Alan Cummings, there's been no arch acting in this series. No. But Alan Cummings is doing it for a reason.
Yeah.
Because obviously when he does it with King James, King James is putting on a show, and then you get that little glimpse of the sort of bewildered child almost when he's talking to the doctor about his mother. So, but yeah.
But Graham and Ryan.
Yes, you've got to not to the end of the story, but you've reached the point that we've been waiting for them to reach the whole series. I mean, obviously, Ryan called Grandad last week.
Yeah.
But he calls it him again this week. He tells him that he loves him, and he does the fist bump thing, which is Graham's been doing, trying to get him to do all the way through the series, and Ryan's been like, no. And they do it, and then Graham just sort of looks at it like, oh, we just did it.
Surprise. Yeah. But what about his, decision not to shoot him?
That is the right decision. Yeah. I think it was Guy Lambert said that they should have killed Tim Shaw and covered it up, and then they would have had the whole guilty secret for the next series. But I'm not sure. The fact that they didn't kill him proves that, I suppose, that they are better than him.
That's a long way ahead to have that.
Yes.
People remember that. Yeah.
If the next series was going to be in a few months' time, then but as it's going to be over a year.
It's going to be interesting to see whether any of this season feeds into the next season. I really don't know. Now that the timing's been announced, there's probably going to be less than you... I don't know. I mean, we can only find out.
Yes.
But yeah, so there was that thing in the trailer about I know that voice as well, and there were various jokes about who it
was going to
be.
Yes. And then people were slightly underwhelmed that it was Tim Shaw.
Well, I was really hoping for Solicitor Grey or Perkins, that somebody, proper old school villain coming back.
I think Solicitor Grey might be stretching it slightly.
Perkins with a headache.
Okay.
That's why all the lights were down low. Because he had a headache, so he turned all the lights down low in his house. His space house.
Yeah.
But yeah, I said to you when we were going to do this that I didn't have much to say about the episode, but watching it for the second time, I got a lot more out of it. Actually, it made much. I couldn't think of sort of how what the order of the scenes was. It's weird, but now it all knits together a lot better, and I found that quite a lot with Chris's stories this year.
That you need to do a rewatch.
Second, because it is such a different rhythm. That's the thing. It's all to do within the writing.
Yes,
and it is different, and it's maybe taken a little bit of time to sort of adjust to that feel.
And there are still people that haven't adjusted.
Yeah,
there are still people. I know we've now got to the Chris Chibnall must go stage, and I'm sorry he's not going anywhere.
No.
Not for the next season anyway.
No.
Maybe after that.
No.
But, he's going to be in the next season, and if you don't enjoy his writing, I suggest you watch something else. Nobody's making you watch it.
But yeah, so we will do a wrap up of the season after
resolution.
Is that all it's called? It's not resolution of the something or other?
It's called resolution at the moment. It may well be called resolution of the something, but we haven't seen the something.
Okay.
And it might not be the something. It probably is, but we'll all look really big idiots if it's not.
If you say it's something and it's not.
Yeah. So let's wait and see.
Oh, you did your form, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was it a overview of the season form or not?
There were some extra questions that talked about the whole
BBC
season.
are actually asking those questions at this point.
But
I did wonder whether it was going to be next time or
whether
not.
they will send another survey for the New Year's Day special, I don't know.
Yeah. Any difficult questions?
The hardest one for me was they wanted, obviously they've got this thing every week about you have to give a word for characters.
Yeah.
And the hardest one was to give the word for Paltraki. I've just remembered his name.
Paltraki, well done.
His crew member who is killed, and I can't even remember her name now. And what do you think of her? And I'm like, she's in one scene.
Well, there's nothing much to say.
There's nothing much to say about her. So I can't even remember what I said now.
Yeah,
I just came up with that word.
Fair enough. But what were your scores for this episode?
I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
So, because it's not brilliant, but it's quite solid. And I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed the cast. I thought the cast was excellent. So.
There we go.
All right. Yeah, I'm really liking, because it asks you every week what you think of the Doctor and the crew, and I'm like, well, I really like them. They are starting to feel like a family now, which is what obviously the Doctor wants. She wants to surround herself with a family. So
okay, well, thank you for that. All right, time for tea.
Yes,
definitely.
Tea and cake and some more season 19.
Oh, of course, yeah. We'll talk about that when we've actually watched it a bit more.
Yes,
we shall see. Okay, we'll say good night then.
Okay.
And, see you soon then.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.